What's up, everybody? Let me just change my lighting here. Hello, welcome to an episode of Darkstone Drinking. Just going to adjust a couple cameras here. My name is Seth Campbell. This is going to be my first official episode doing this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing an excellent board game called Shadows of Brimstone. If you've never heard of this, it is a really fun game set in the Old West with eldritch and horror monsters that are coming out of these other worlds, and you play as various members of the cowboy community fighting your way through these to get a special resource called Darkstone. And it gives you powers, and it is what is kind of causing all the disturbances in this world. This game is what you could call a dungeon crawler slash RPG, meaning we will be kind of moving through these map tiles of the Old West mines and these various worlds, and then you will also be building up your character as you go along, that you can upgrade with various gear and Darkstone and buy things at the town. So this is not a tutorial game. There's a couple of videos out there that kind of teach you how to play Shadows of Brimstone. I'm not necessarily going to do that, although I will be kind of going through some rules as I go so you're not completely lost. But I'm going to be focused more on the story of it. I'm going to focus on a few characters. I'm going to start with one who I'll introduce in a few minutes here. And play through some quests and then introduce more characters. And then we're also going to be doing drinking. So I've created some drinking rules that you can join along with me, and so I'll pop those up here in a second. So if you are joining me on this journey, then I encourage you to grab a drink and engross yourself in this. And if you want to know more or learn more about this game, I'd be happy to tell you more. You can hit me up on the chat, and I would encourage you to explore it for yourself. And so I'll try to go through some basic things as I go, but for the most part, I encourage you just to engross yourself in the story and the whiskey. So without further ado, let's kind of get into this. And so this first episode will kind of be introducing the story a little bit of the concept of the game itself, and then as we go further, we'll just kind of get more into the flow. But so let's move to the drinking rules. So there are a couple things. This may not all make sense completely right now. I will reintroduce some of these rules as we go, and I'll keep a rules banner up. But you're going to take a few different drinks, single drinks, double drinks, and some shots. For your single drinks, you're going to take a drink whenever an enemy appears. This is a heavy exploration and combat game. So whenever we have a combat situation arise, you're going to take a drink. You're going to take a drink whenever we draw what's called an encounter card. These are story elements that happen, and events will occur. And then you'll be moving a lot, and whenever you roll a 1 for move, you get some special things called grit, which we'll explain later and you'll get to use, but you want to be able to move a little more than just 1. So whenever we roll a 1, we're going to take 1 drink. And then you'll take 1 drink whenever you take a wound or a horror hit. Let me just hold on, I gotta grab my dynamite. There we go. Whenever you take a wound or a horror hit, so this is how you take damage in the game. Then you're going to take 2 drinks whenever something happens that's called whenever the darkness moves. So the darkness is what is in the mines, and it's trying to get out. We're trying to keep it in. And whenever you roll, I'll show you the depth track in a little bit. If you miss a roll, the darkness will move up. And so if that happens, you're going to take 2 drinks. You're going to take 2 drinks also whenever you roll a critical hit on an enemy. That's a hit that will bypass their shields, essentially, and cause direct damage. You're also going to take 2 hits whenever you pick up some Darkstone, and that is the wonderful little gems here that we are trying to collect. Then you'll also take 2 drinks whenever a depth event occurs. This is something that happens in the mines, like either a cave-in or a horde of bats. So we'll take 2 drinks for that. And then there will be 2 times when you'll take shots. You'll take a shot if your character dies, or my character rather, if that happens. And you'll also take a shot after every fight. And so we'll see how that goes, how many fights we actually get into. So I'll keep those up so you can tag along. I'm going to go ahead and take a drink just to get started, though. Okay, so we'll go into the game screen here in a minute. But just to kind of explain the world a little bit, there was a town called Brimstone. Everyone in the area knows about it, but nobody really likes talking about it. There was some dark things happen, and the whole town is gone now. It was wiped off the map completely. There are a few people who left early, but they won't really talk about what they saw. Some of them have blocked out the memories. But the word is that things were coming out of the mines. Something dark, something horrible, creatures beyond imagination. But there's something else in the mines too. Rumors have it of this material called Darkstone, and it started showing up in the other towns. People have been venturing into these mines around Brimstone and even going to Brimstone to seek out this material. It's this otherworldly substance that can be crafted into magical weapons and clothing and give you abilities. And so everybody wants it. And so the regions around Brimstone have kind of started to search this out and explore deeper into the mines. And that is what is bringing our main character, to this town. So we are going to be introducing the story of Decker McGraw. You'll get to see him a little closer later. I'll show him up here. My camera on this side is not meant for models. But this is Decker McGraw. Decker McGraw, in his late 40s, early 50s, he's a U.S. Marshal. He's actually from Brimstone. He was born there, and he lived there for a time as a child. He doesn't have very many memories of it, but his parents moved him out and he thinks it's because of some of the things that were happening. But he served in the war in the Union, and so he suffers from some PTSD. But his daughter died from tuberculosis about 10 to 15 years ago, and that is what drove he and his wife apart. And he's been mostly just engrossing himself in the work, trying to clean up the West, and has dedicated his life to justice. And that is why he has come back to Brimstone. 2 days ago, a coin showed up on his doorstep, an ancient coin with writing and scroll on it. And he remembers something like this from when he was a child, from an old traveler who came through. And when this coin showed up, he started hearing voices, and he swears he can hear voices of his daughter. And he has decided that he's going to go back to Brimstone because he knows that people are going out there to get the Darkstone. He knows that things are coming out of it, and he's lost his purpose, and he feels when this coin shows up, his purpose is back. Maybe this is what he needs to be doing. So he's going back to Brimstone. He's going to explore those mines. He's going to find out what is happening. And maybe he'll find a little inner peace, and maybe he'll find a little Darkstone as well. He's not sure, but he's going to go it alone because that's how he's always done it. And he's going to go explore. So that's the character we're going to be playing as. We're going to do a couple of episodes on his quest. We're not going to get into some of the other worlds yet. I want to keep it kind of simple. I want to let the story grow organically. So he's going to go through the mines. So we're going to start with a mission called A Few Darkstone More, and he's going to go into the mines and search it out. So let's go ahead and just kind of jump into our game screen here. And it's just so you can kind of see what we're looking at. So up in your top right is our board with our character, U.S. Marshal Decker McGraw, and his stats. This is the depth track. So on the green marker here is the darkness that wants to travel this way. We want to keep it over here. And this is us here. The further we go in the mines, we're going to go down, and it's going to get harder to keep the darkness at bay. Marshal is equipped with his Marshal's badge, his shotgun, and his ancient coin. And so you can see all that up here in the top right. I'll be here, and then we'll have our battle cam. I might adjust that as we go, try to get us a better shot of what's happening Maybe even see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Just so we get a better close-up of our character. And then, of course, we have the main screen here where I'll start putting the map together as we go. Okay, so without further ado, I think it is time to jump into the game. Hopefully my music is not too loud. I'm going to turn it down just a hair just to see. And we're going to get into it. So some basic rules, just so you kind of know. There are basically three things we're going to be doing every turn. We can move, which we're going to do. We're going to move through the mines. And then when we're in a room, we can scavenge. So we can scavenge that room, look for resources. There's about a third good, third bad, third neutral. I should probably add a drinking roll for scavenging. We'll see. And then when an exploration token appears on a board, you'll flip that over. And what you're looking for is the exclamation points. Those are the clues that lead you to the ultimate goal. For this one, we need to get 2. Those are what's leading us. He's looking for the Darkstone. He thinks maybe the Darkstone will lead him to the creatures. He wants to get his hands on some himself. He needs to see this. He needs to kind of get in here and experience the mine. So we're looking for those. Oh, also he has the whole old lantern. That's what's holding back the darkness. And then, so you'll room explore. And then when enemies appear, we'll get into combat, and we'll basically be rolling dice to fight the enemies, and they'll be rolling dice to attack us. So that's going to be basically it. So without further ado, let's get started. So Decker McGraw has just entered the mines. They're cold. They feel like they're unnaturally cold for what they are. I'm going to go ahead and drink, just because I might break my own rules sometimes. They're unnaturally cold. Something in here isn't right. And he can feel it immediately, and it takes him right back to some of those feelings he had as a kid. And so he knows that this is not a place that is meant for human life, but he's going to go in there anyways. But every turn, he's got to hold back the darkness. He's going to hold that lantern up, shine it bright, because every time that darkness howls down the tunnels, he's feeling PTSD from the war. He feels like he can hear a child's voice, but he knows, somewhere deep down in there, he knows that it's not what it would appear. So we have to roll a 7 or higher right now to block the darkness every turn, which we did. So the darkness does not move, so we do not have to drink. So now it's time to move. Decker McGraw is going to roll a 4. So he's going to move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do anything else yet other than scavenge, because I haven't revealed anything else on the map. So I'll go ahead and try to scavenge. So if I'm going to roll 3 dice. If I get a 6, for every 6 I roll, I get to scavenge. And I do. I roll 1 6. So let's draw a scavenge card. And it's a small find. It's $50 of gold, and that's pretty good. Later on, if he makes it through this journey, he will be going to, let's just hang on to the card. He'll be going back to town where he can potentially spend that $50. We'll just add it to his wallet right here. I should get some tokens for that. So this section is scavenged. We cannot scavenge it again. And that's it. That's the turn. So he hears those winds again howling, so we're going to hold back the darkness. It's a 12. We did hold back the darkness, but something happened. We've triggered a depth event. We look on the chart, and it's stubborn resolve. This place is horrible and unforgiving, but you're not about to give up for a fight. So we can roll to either recover grit. Nothing really happens there because we're not in a fight. He hasn't been wounded yet, but we did roll a depth event, so we are going to go ahead and take 2 drinks. Some of them are worse. Some of them are bad. There's ambush attacks, there's falling rubble, terrifying shrieks. This one was actually one of the rare good ones, but it doesn't really help us right now because he hasn't gotten into any fights yet. These are our revive tokens. I forgot to set those out. If I do die, I can revive myself. I'll still take my shot, but I can come back, so I have a couple times. And if Decker McGraw dies, then maybe his adventure is done, and we move on. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we held back the darkness. We're going to roll for movement. 1, 2, 3. We're going to look through the door. Decker McGraw peeks through the mine door to see what happens. And it's a corner passage, not very exciting. Now we're going to get into the tedious parts of the game where we have to find all of the little map pieces. I could have a pre-constructed map, but I would like to keep the game organic so that I don't know what's going to happen. And that means that every now and then I'm going to have to shuffle around and look for some map pieces. All right, so we've laid a corner passage. This is not a room, so there is no exploration token here. There's just a passage around the corner. Peeking around the corner is never good, though. However, we can still scavenge this space. So since we are on it, we will go ahead and try to scavenge. See what we find. I rolled a 6. So let's scavenge. Let's go ahead and have a drink every time we scavenge. And it's a hideous discovery. I gain 10 XP, so experience points is how we will gain levels. However, I take 3 horror hits. So poking around in the shadows, you see something that chills you to the bone. Decker McGraw quickly returns backwards, refusing to speak of what he's found. I don't know what it is. But we're going to take 3 horror hits. So horror hits are coming at us, so we have to block them. So that's going to use our sanity. So we have to roll a 4 or higher for each hit. So we're going to roll 3 dice. For everything lower than a 4, we take a horror hit, and we're going to lose 2 sanity for each one of those because of that card. So we blocked 1 with a 4, we blocked 1 with a 5, but we missed 1. So we take 2 sanity hits immediately. I have a sanity of 10, and if I get below, if I drop to 0 or take 10 sanity hits, then he'll go mad and he'll be gone. So we took 2 hits, so we're going to go ahead and take a drink. We're going to count it as a group of 1. But that area has been successfully scavenged, so there's nothing left to do but move forward. So we're going to hold back the darkness and keep going. It's a 5. We failed to hold back the darkness, so it moves up 1. Nothing bad necessarily happens yet. If it lands on a blood space, we have to draw a darkness card. If it lands on a growing dread, we add that to a stack, which will get drawn later. But it moves up, but that does mean that we are going to take 2 drinks. The rules get harder as I drink more. So, oh boy. Okay. So he failed to hear back. He hears the darkness has moved. He hears sounds. He swears he can see the walls moving around him, and that little girl's voice is saying, "Come closer. Come and find me." He needs to. He's gonna go down there, but he knows it's not his daughter, but something is calling him in there, and it's not going to be good when he finds it. He knows that, but he resists. He pushes it back out of his mind, trying not to lose his mind, but he's going to keep pressing forward and see where this leads. All right, we rolled a 6. I do need to double check my rules here and make sure nothing interesting happens whenever you roll a 6. Where are my rules? My main rules. For movement, I know what happens when you roll a 1. Well, what have I done with them? Here we are. I'm going to be a little fumbly in these first few episodes as I kind of get back into it. There's a lot of rules, just so everyone kind of knows. This is the main rule book, and then there's an adventure book for every set, and it's pretty dense. It's over 30 pages. So if you're like, what's wrong with him? This is why, because there's a lot here. Thank you, Flying Frog Productions, for making an excellent game, but also curse you for just having so much stuff that it's just kind of hard to remember if you're not playing it all the time, which I'm going to be trying to play this every week. I'm usually shooting for Saturdays, but today we went to Monday. Okay, nothing happens, or today we went to Friday, sorry. But I'm going to try to maybe keep to a consistent Saturday schedule. We'll see, but I'll update everyone on that. Okay, nothing happens if we roll a 6, so we're going to keep going. That's enough to go peek through the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. He cautiously approaches the gate, peeks around the corner into the storage room. Going to try to find the storage room. We're going to need to adjust our Decker McGraw camera here. Okay, peeking in the storage room. We don't know what the entrances and exits are yet because we are first have to draw an exploration token. So we're going to set one of those right there, but we are officially in a room. We move ourselves down further. We're still at a 7 to try to hold back the darkness, but the farther we move, the harder it's going to get. Okay, I've ended my turn, so I can go ahead, now that I'm in a room that has an exploration token. Decker McGraw is going to explore, so he holds the lantern up, he shines it, lifts it up, and it is one of our goals. But it's also an encounter times 2, so first thing we have to do is draw 2 encounters. And we'll go ahead and let's just take 2 shots, 1 for each encounter. Sorry, not shots, drinks. He walks in the room. First thing, void layer. The passage is covered in thick, sticky webs and soft egg sacs line the walls and the floors. I have to roll one higher to hit for my attacks while I'm in this room. Oh no. Also, I need to roll a d6 to see what's happening with these egg sacs. Okay, I'm going to use my grit. So I have a thing called grit here. I can use that to re-roll. I want to re-roll that because I don't want what's about to happen. So I'm going to re-roll, and I roll a 5. Dormant egg sacs. There's nothing in them. They do not hatch. We are safe. However, that's not everything in this room. Well, we need to keep that out because we've got special rules on there. Tied of fur and teeth, a scurrying flood of swarming rats pours through the passage from ahead, biting and gnashing at everything in their path like a hungry sea of hate. So we have to pass a strength test. So we have to roll a 5 or higher to pass this. And so you look at your strength; it's 2. So I roll 2 dice, and and so I will get. I have to get at least 1 5. To survive that. Hold on, I'm missing my things again. There we go. Okay, 2 5s. Great. So we passed it. So I sweep away. Decker sweeps away the rodents. He doesn't necessarily mind rats. He doesn't like them, but he doesn't mind. He sweeps them away, gets them out of there, and they move on. But they're definitely moving away from something. So we're going to keep moving forward to find out what that is. I rolled 2 5s, so I get to gain 15 XP for each of those 5s. So that'll be 30. So we're moving up. I think you got to get to 500 to gain a level, so he's a little ways away, but it's still early in the journey. Okay, so we have our first clue. And it is a blue bow. Just like the one he used to put in his daughter's hair. And it's fluttering, but he's trying to hold on to it. It seems hard to grasp, but it gives him, it fills him with something. He's not sure if it's dread. His daughter died of tuberculosis, but he always suspected that maybe there were darker forces at play. But this is calling him, and it's now becoming personal. Whether this has something to do actually with her death, or if this is just some dark trick of the mind, this is he's not gonna go for it. So he's gonna keep moving forward, and he's gonna find out what's happening. When you bring his daughter into this, you have just stepped into a different world of Decker McGraw, a more serious world. All right, we're gonna roll for our mine entrances first. A lot of gear here too. I gotta remember what everything does. And if you guys don't like the story, I'm sorry, I'm just making it up on the fly. It'll get better, hopefully. We'll see. All right, there's one entrance out of this room. For practical reasons, I'm glad it's going that way, because that makes it easier for my map here. However, at some point my phone is going to run out of cord, and I may not be able to get any closer. All right, we only need to find one more of these icons. When we find another icon, that will be the final one. So, and then this quest will be over. So far, he hasn't had to fight anything. That will probably change. All right, hold back the darkness. It's a 9. We did it. So the darkness does not move. Let's go ahead and hold on to one of those. Roll for movement. Roll a 4. We're going to skip around this hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's risky, but he's going to look around. He's going to dig in the dirt and see if he can scavenge up anything useful. We roll a 6. We did it. Let's go ahead and take that drink. It's another small find. It's $50. So we have $100 now. Might be enough to pay our doctor visit if we do get any major injuries. So let's just hope that doesn't happen. Okay, we are moving on. Roll for darkness again. And we did not get it. It moves. We have to take 2 drinks. Halfway through, seems about right. Okay, we draw a darkness card. This is where we get into the real nasty stuff. Growling in the dark. Okay, fortunately he's alone, so this doesn't matter to him as much. All heroes that are not currently on the same map tile as the lantern immediately take Horrors. Fortunately, that does not affect Decker McGraw because he is alone. However, nobody wants to hear growling in the dark. So he is not loving that. He knows there's definitely some nasty, nasty things out here. This area has been scavenged. Let's go ahead and put that there. Okay, so that was our darkness roll. We're gonna move now, roll a 3, and look through the door. And now this is where I have to start standing up. Because we're gonna move out of my reach into the forked path. I believe the forked path is in this one. I have maps from Caverns of Cinder, the Jargano core set, and the Targa Plateau core set, and I try to keep them separated because it's easier then when you get into those worlds. However, it does make it a little more difficult when I'm hunting around. So if you're bored, go ahead, take a drink for being bored. He's got 2 options. This is a room, so there will be an exploration token. We don't know how many doors are in here yet because we haven't flipped that over. Oops. All right, it's time to do it. Ooh, 2 doors. So we do know that there are 2 entrances out of here. We can't get out of them yet. We have to draw 2 encounters first, though. So that's 2 drinks, 1 for each encounter. We still have this void layer in this room, which is going to affect us if we have to go into a fight. You can always back up into other rooms when you're in a fight. It would be great not to have to back up into this room. Encounters can make you draw a fight, though. So, Fire Spirit. Dancing around the walls and ceiling of the room, a fiery imp sparks and sputters with red flame, only pausing long enough to whip its tail and laugh at Decker with a mocking tone. If he catches it, you can discover something useful. So we got to do an agility test here. He's still pretty agile, even in his age, but we have to get 6. We have to get a 6 or higher, so we roll 3 dice. And he doesn't quite get it. It moves out of his reach and into the walls, laughing as it goes, and it's gone. Then we draw another one. Scorching Hellfire. The very fires of hell burn in this room, erupting in gouts of flame and death. So at the start of each turn, I have to place a Hellfire marker in a space adjacent to Decker. Each of these fire markers then bounce twice in random directions, just like dynamite. Okay, awesome. Great. I'm gonna have to get my Hellfire out. So, a void opens up. We'll just go ahead and pull some of these out. I haven't done Hellfire yet. Oh, that's lavas, but there we go, Hellfire. That's what I need. Not sure where I put those. There it is. There's our Hellfire. Awesome. So those are going to bounce around the room, and hopefully they do not land on us. So that's the end of the turn. So there's going to be Hellfire that appears next turn. Okay, we're moving on. We're probably going to go through the door on the right. Maybe just because I have more map space over there. So we're going to do practical reasons. All right, first we have to hold back. Oh, we have to move this forward. We still have a little bit farther. So we want to try and reach our goals before we go too far down to the mines, because otherwise then we start getting into, it gets harder and harder to hold back the darkness. 10. We held it back. Good. All right. Oh, started the turn first. So it's Hellfire. So a space goes into a space right here. And that is going to just grow every turn. Okay, so we place it there, and then each of these markers then bounces twice in random directions, just like dynamite. So we want to get out of this room because this Hellfire is here and it's bouncing around. So we don't want it to land on us. Fortunately, it moves over here. It's kind of out of the way. I think we'll say it extinguishes itself. Well, I think that's what happens anyways. It doesn't stay, no. Oh wait, hold on. It follows dynamite rules, so I have to. Yeah. Let's roll a d6. Okay. I see what happens. So it moved over here, and then we have to roll a d3 again. It's going to keep bouncing. So now it's going to move over here, and so we don't want it to land right on me. Oh, I should actually be rolling a d8. And it moves back over here. So that's gone, because it extinguished itself outside of the wall. Oh, I guess actually, no, it says cancel that bounce, so it just stays there. Okay, so, all right. We don't want to land on that. All right, we should get out of this room. We held back the darkness. Let's move forward. Oh, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not quite there, so there's more hellfire spouting out in a minute here. Let's go ahead and scavenge, so let's get whatever we can out of this godforsaken mine. All right, scavenge, take a drink. Nothing here, except for XP. Scavenge around in the dirt and found some XP. Yeah, doggy. I think I'm up to like 50. 50 out of 500. That ain't bad. Ooh. All right. So start of the turn. First, we're gonna do our hellfire. It's gonna start right there, I guess. It's as good as any. Now it bounces. So it bounces down to the right, which it can't do. So we cancel that bounce. And it keeps moving. Oh, I guess it only this just bounces twice. Okay, because dynamite bounces. Okay, so we only have one more bounce. And then it moves to the 6. Whew, bounces over here. Let's get out of there. This stuff's hot. It's singeing. All right, hellfire's spouting. Decker's ready to get out of this room. It's getting worse. We're going to move on. Oh, we rolled a 1. When I roll a 1, we take a drink. However, I get to recover a grit. Grit is that resolve that helps you keep pressing forward when you're in these stupid mines. So we have a little bit of that back. That's enough, though. We can move forward 1 and look through the door. Draw a map. It's a passage. That's no good because it does mean we move forward, but we're not actually getting much closer to our goal. So we really don't want to actually draw that many passages. At least I think those are the rules. I'll double check those later. Those are semantics that we can get into at another time. Okay, technically we're still in that room, so I think we got to do another hellfire bounce. And then we'll hold back the darkness. 6. It moves down here. And a 1. It moves up to the right and it bounces out of the way, so we do not need that. And it does nothing. Unfortunately, he's moving away from my camera, so this is going to get a little harder to see him. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Where you going, Decker? All right. Hellfire, we escaped it. However, we gotta hold back the darkness. 8, we did it. Nothing today. Let's just leave that there so we remember. Oops. Okay. Let's roll for movement. Let's get out of this passage. Let's get forward. Roll 5. He's going further into the mines. we look through the door. We see a reinforced room. Why would someone reinforce a room? It doesn't seem great. Those are signs of cave-ins. I found that one better. That's good. Okay. I gotta find my direction here. Okay. But that does mean we get to draw. Oh, I guess my tables are two different heights. Oh well. We'll just step up into this room a little bit. Okay. We do have another exploration token. I'm gonna just take a drink because I'm enjoying myself. I do this by myself anyways, and that's part of why I'm streaming this, because it seems a little less sad and lonely. I do have a wife and kids, by the way. I just want everyone to know that. However, I do like to sit in my basement and play board games alone. And so my wife was like, you should do it online, and then other people can watch you make a fool of yourself. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. So here we are. That's it. Second clue. Okay. So first thing we do, block off these, because this is the end of the line. There's nothing left to explore. However, we are at the end, which means rule book go. Keep misplacing things. There we go. Just remind myself what happens when you reach your last marker. Okay, so we ignore that encounter on there. This is it. A little girl materializes in front of him, and it looks kind of like his daughter. And she looks at him, and she says, "Help, Daddy, you've come back. Help me, save me, Daddy. They're everywhere. The monsters, they're everywhere." Decker goes to pick her up in his arms, but he stops. The light of the lantern that he's holding is flickering, and it's almost like it's trying to pull him back and saying, no, stop this. And she says, "What's wrong? Daddy, come." He's like, "No, this isn't you. My daughter died." She's like, your daughter is, if you join us, Decker, we can take you to your daughter." All of a sudden she starts to shift and thrive, and before him appears these nasty tentacly creatures. Oh crap. Ugh. His daughter melts away. And in her place is hounds out of the void of hell. And with them, the wizards that are calling to her. "We can take you to your daughter. Come with us. We can lead you there. You can be with her forever," they promise him. Of course, Decker's been around. Decker has fought all sorts of nasty monstrosities of the human variety. These things don't scare him, and he knows they're empty promises. He looks him in the eye and he says, "F off. F off. You ain't my daughter, and you can't take me there. You go back to hell where you came from." And he loads up his shotgun, and we're in a fight. Enemies have appeared. Taking a drink. Let me get the board set. I'm going to interrupt the action here. Shotguns are loaded. We're ready to roll. 3 Void Hounds, 3 Void Wizards. The nastiest things. I'm going to just lay those right there. You won't be able to see them super well. All right, and we are in combat. So now the way combat is going to work is we're going to, we have this what's called initiative, and so things that have higher initiative go first. Unfortunately, the Void Hounds and the Void Sorcerers both have higher initiative than Decker himself. So a bunch of nasty stuff's just going to come at him and attack him, and hopefully we can survive it long enough to shoot back. And here they come. I believe I draw a high threat. Yeah. Okay. I may have drawn too high of a threat card. We'll see. I just want to like... This would be a good place to end this if we can get through this fight here. Yep, we draw epic high threats, so that's it. So we're correct. All right, let me just read through their abilities. At the start of its activation, if not adjacent to a hero, after any retreat move, a Void Sorcerer rolls a d6. On 1 through it hurls a Void Bolt. Okay, so you can shoot Void Bolts at me. Great. And then... Oh, and awesome. So the Void Hounds actually always start an ambush, so they are just right there. Ready to go. Slathering on him. They're hot, nasty breath of the other world. And we gotta survive. So first thing they do, they're gonna attack him. They roll 6 dice. Make sure void phasing. So Void Hound's defense is equal to the current initiative level in the turn order. Void Hounds may move through other models. So, okay. Start the Void Hound's activation after initial ambush. Oh, ambush. I gotta remind myself what ambush does. I believe that means they get to like attack me immediately. Oh, like I said, very exciting, I know. Ambush. They gain 2 initiative. That doesn't matter. They're already super high initiative. Okay. Okay. Roll a d6 first. That doesn't matter because there's only one person to target. Okay. First Void Hound, we'll say the one on his left is going to attack him. So they have to roll a 3 or higher to hit. So there's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. Those have not caused wounds yet, but I'm going to try to block them. Okay. I have to roll 4 or higher. I block 1, but I do not block the other 3, so I take 3 hits, so I'm going to take a drink. So the first hound jumps at him. He blocks its jaws, but its tail flaps around, smacks him in the face, catches him in the ribs, and smacks him in the arm. He's bleeding, and it burns too. You can feel the void magic hitting him. He pushes it back as the other one leaps at him as well. Man, these things are awful. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. This one's even more vicious than the last one. Jaws out, claws out. It's seen that Decker has hands. It learns that it can jump at him, and so it's trying a different angle. And he blocks 1, he blocks 2, but it's got 3 more. It's those tails. The tails flip around again and catch him. Again, so he's down to 4 health left. So we got to take another drink. Might have to refill this just to get out of here. I don't know if he's gonna make it out. We'll see. This could be a very short adventure for old Decker McGraw, and the next one might just start with someone trying to go find his body. I guess would be a thematic way to do this. Oh, by the way, we are still going to have to hold back the darkness after it gets back to Decker McGraw's turn. That last Void Hound is on him, so they are just pounding him. They have pack swarmed him. Fortunately, this one didn't quite get as good a hit. 3 on him, but that's still 3 that we got to block. Oh, actually, I have to roll 3 or higher to block. I don't think I was wrong on any of those because I rolled some low ones. He blocks 1 and misses 2, so that's 2 hits. 6, 7, 8. He's bleeding profusely, lying on the ground, ready to give up. But then he reaches back but then he feels something warm in his pocket. It's the coin. And at first he thought it was malevolent energy coming from it when he first thought it, but maybe there's something different, because now it's glowing in a different way. He feels some strength returning to his body. And he feels a different voice calling to him. It's gentle, it's soft, and it doesn't have the same evil energy behind it as before. So he latches onto that. He grabs the coin, and he feels a burst of strength. So we're going to fully restore our health here before the Void Sorcerers come at us. He can feel the power of this coin coursing through him. But in a good way. There are evil forces in this world coming out of the mines, and there are good forces as well. And he's going to latch onto those, and he pulls that in, and he can take it, and he's going to make it through. While they tried to trick him with the voice of his daughter, he's going to use that strength and that power, and he's going to fight back. All right. However, we got to get through 3 Void Sorcerers first. So we got to roll. For the first Void Sorcerer, roll to see if he hits. It does not hit. He does not do a Void Bolt, however, he's going to throw some Void Magic at us. Oops, not the Shadow Magic. Oh no. Again, we're dealing with some models that I have not played with yet before, so I don't really know what to expect here from the Void Magic. I lose this game more often than not, so I might be taking a lot of shots tonight and then coming back at it. We'll see. I might have to do more models. We'll see. All right, Void Magic. Void Chant. Swaying back and forth, the sorcerer chants in a rhythmic tone of void speech, building in intensity and pitch towards something sinister. He's still trying to get Decker in there. So it doesn't do anything right now, but it could affect the next spell. So then he's going to move forward. So that would be this one. 1, 2, 3. He can't get in there because the Void Hounds are all over Decker, but they're closing in. They're trying to get him. But the next Void Sorcerer does manage to shoot off a Void Bolt. It's got a range of 16, so obviously it's going to hit him. Shots 3. So I believe then they have to get a 4 higher. Damage 2 ignores defense. So Void Bolt flies through the air and smacks Decker in the chest. The magic is coursing through. We can feel it. Makes him cold. His blood turns to ice and hits him for 4 damage. Yeah, I'm gonna need to refill my drink here. Okay, and then that. Oh, I guess they actually are supposed to move first, but. Oh no, he does that. He does that first. Ugh, these things are the worst. Okay, so now the last one is going to try to fire a spell. Void, he does not throw off a Void Bolt. Instead, he goes for another Void Magic. Okay, so it's not a Void Chant. So discard this card when the next non-chant Void spell is cast. That spell is cast at 1 higher spell level. Oh. Oof. Oh my god. Hell, so it would start at spell level 1. Oh crap. It's a summoning ritual. The Void Wizard casts off his spell, and we get 3 tentacles. Yeah, I was gonna like put up little pictures of the models here, but it's kind of hard to do. Maybe I'll add those in post, so you can see them up close. Oh my god, this just keeps getting worse. I am pretty sure I'm not going to survive this. So 3 tentacles appear. They burst from underneath the ground. From some hideous, horrible creature that is hidden in the earth. And they are here to fight. Fortunately, I get to attack before them. But a new enemy appears, so I think we'll drink to that. Oh my gosh. Okay, and so then the Void Wizard is going to move. And they're just crowding in. Alright. It's Decker McGraw's turn. So let me look up combat here real quick for him. I'm going to use my shotgun. Alright. First thing he's going to try to do is try to escape. So we need to... because it probably doesn't matter. Because they can... No, we don't want to go backwards because... they can catch up to us. I can't move farther. I can't move fast enough. And there's also Hellfire. If I get back in that room, the Hellfire is going to just keep spreading. So we're really in a bad place. So really the only thing we can do is just sit here and try to blast with our shotgun. I'm going to go ahead and he's going to hold on to that Marshal badge. Remember the day that he was given that. It was the happiest day of his life. Second happiest maybe, or the third happiest. The day Matt married his wife, they met and married on the same day, obviously, like you do. The day his daughter was born, and then he got his badge. Priorities, people. Okay. Oh crap. Let's do this. first thing he's not gonna pull that shotgun out yet. He's gonna pull that dynamite out. So he's got one stick of dynamite that he brought down in here. He didn't pick up anything else useful. I'm gonna put it somewhere. Okay. So we have to roll for our range. We got it. Let me just make sure I'm reading my dynamite correctly. So we passed the strength test on the dynamite. This is getting harder. My face is getting warm. It is a ranged attack. Range. Strength +3. Strength 3+. So what's my range? Like, how far can I throw it? I know this is where it's really exciting. So I passed my strength test. But what's the range on the dynamite? Maybe that's over here. Range is the number of spaces away that an enemy can be and still be hit by the attack. Okay, so I guess... Oh, maybe... I'm sorry, I know this is very exciting. So I guess I got it. So I throw it 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. What if I don't want to throw it that far? I want to throw it closer. Maybe you shouldn't, though. All right. Well, he throws it. It hit. So it lands right there. So then everything in there takes D6 wounds, ignoring defense. Awesome. So he just blew up all 2 of the tentacles. Black, nasty blue and green goo explode everywhere. That also gives Decker McGraw 30 XP for that. Killing his tentacles. Be great if they weren't there at all, I guess. Okay. And every time I kill I killed 2 enemies, so I get to remove 2 wounds. We'll drink that. Let's fill our drink back up real quick. I love that this is like the first and only fight that he will have had in this game, and it's like, it's just the worst. Because that's not, those are extra creatures that showed up. I feel like I'm gonna take the Void Sorcerers out next time. That was awful. I don't like them. Oh man, I'm out of ginger ale. Hopefully I don't have to make another drink. Okay, so that wasn't his attack. I'm just throwing the dynamite because. So now we are going to. I believe I can do that, right? Yeah, because it's a side back token. All right, then he cocks back a shotgun. He holds that Marshal's badge up. He remembers when it was given to him. He's going to give him +2 shots. So we get to fire 3 times with the Marshal badge. We're going to target. Man, I think we got to get rid of the Void Sorcerers are worse and they're harder to kill. But well, gosh, but they're more awful, but they're also harder to kill. But they can't reach me right now. But that's almost worse because they can throw Void Bolts. So I almost feel like I need to destroy them first. I don't know what the right call is. Because it's going to take... So I've got 3 shots right now. So it's going to take... If I have critical hits every time, it's going to take 3 shots to kill 1 Void Sorcerer. Versus I could potentially kill a Void Hound with each shot. So let's do that. So we cock back, we aim at the Void Hound on the left. If I get a 6, 7, or 8, that's a critical hit. Come on. Ugh. Let's use Grit to re-roll once. Yes, it's a 7. It's a critical hit. So I believe critical hit was 2 drinks. Oh, thank goodness. Come on. 5 or higher. Oh, 2. Damn it. Alright, that first Void Hound. So I'm just gonna... It's gonna be that one way over there. Blast him in the face. Doesn't kill him, but it definitely wounds him. It shrieks an unearthly, ungodly howl. We do not make it with the next shot. Binds up in his gun. He fires again. Oh my god. No. I don't have any other things to do. And that's it. His gun seized up on him. Must have gotten the powder wet. Okay, then these stupid tentacles are gonna move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the turn. We roll to hold back the darkness. Please tell me we did it. Oh, we didn't do it. It moves. I take 2 drinks. Haven't I take a shot yet? That would probably take a shot at the end of the game here. Okay, we are back in it then with the Void Hounds. So they roll a d6. No, that doesn't matter. No pack attacks. Okay, first Void Hound lunges at him again. Fortunately, all of these things follow the JRPG rules where they wait and let everyone attack one at a time. Okay, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. We gotta block 5 of them. I gotta roll 3 or higher for each one. 1, 2, 3. What were you over here? 4, 5. Oh, he smacks it with the butt of his gun, blocks it back. Not getting today, little. But there's probably no kids watching. Oh no, my battery is gonna die too. I left my charger at work. 7%. Oh, you know what? This is not the most epic way to conclude this, but I would rather end it before we just blur out of existence. So, with the butt to the rifle of the face, the next Void Hound is coming at him. I think we're going to end there. And we'll jump back in next week. I'm going to shoot for Saturday. I'll send updates on the social medias so you guys can all pay attention. But hopefully, if you were joining me, you enjoyed yourselves. I'm having a great time, whether or not you are or if you're even there. But thanks for joining me. We're going to keep going into Decker McGraw's adventure. Maybe he can get out of this, and if he does, he's going to come back and he's going to show the darkness what for. Because once you start messing with memories of his family, then you've just unleashed hell on yourself. And so Decker McGraw is not going out with a fight, so we're going to find out what happens next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.